Steve and I are both readers, both of business-related books and beyond. But one of the things we love to share is once a month, the second Thursday of every month, we do our business owner book club for books that we're reading and really sharing with you a summary of it. When you have the right people in the right seats, it's amazing what is possible when you're looking at the goals that you have each quarter, right? We talk about our CEPAs, our certified exit planners, and how they help the business owners through that process of the 90-day sprints of improving the value of the business strategically in different ways. When you have the right people doing the right kind of work. Hey there, entrepreneur. Welcome back to Scale to Sell podcast, the business owner's podcast to grow your business strategically, win at work and life, and exit on your terms. We're excited to have you here for episode number 46, Exit Rich by Building a Business Buyers Actually Want. But before we get into the episode, I wanted to share with you a couple of things about our Business Builder Thursday email. If you have not signed up for our Business Builder Thursday email, go to scaletosell.com. It's right there on the homepage. Sign up for it. One of the things that we love to do, Steve and I are both readers, both of business-related books and beyond. But one of the things we love to share is once a month, the second Thursday of every month, we do our business owner book club for books that we're reading and really sharing with you a summary of it, and some of the things that you can implement in your business right away from the things that we're learning and applying ourselves. And so coming up in the next few months, we've got books like Wealthy and Well Known by Rory and AJ Vaden, subtitle Build Your Personal Brand and Turn Your Reputation into Revenue. It was an instant New York Times bestseller, came out in the middle of July. One that I'm excited about for a number of reasons. One, because AI and technology is just a fascinating topic right now. And two, we're really doing things in our own business on the back end of things to better serve you with the technology and things that we can bring to the whole process. So the AI-Driven Leader by Jeff Woods, harnessing AI to make faster, smarter decisions. He's speaking at a conference of financial advisors, and I saw that he was speaking and I immediately got that and was like, I have to read that. And then one that is actually going to be something that we reference as a part of our conversation today is Exit Rich, the 6P Method to Sell Your Business for Huge Profit by Michelle Seiler Tucker, with some commentary by Sharon Lecter. So awesome reads coming up, really impactful, really applicable, like just tactical and practical things you can do to grow your business and exit on your terms. So scaletosell.com, sign up for the Business Builder Thursday, and we'll come back to that in just a little bit. So Steve, today we're talking about the 6 different aspects of your business that you should consider to really create a business that buyers are going to find irresistible, that are going to create a high value opportunity for you in the business. Like, what is that before we get into the actual 6 Ps that we're going to talk about today, like, what does that mean in your perspective of creating a high value business?
Well, one, you got, as we talked about the last podcast, if your business is ready to exit on your own terms, meaning getting a high value, that means you probably have systems and processes in place where you can have a life.
Yep.
And so your game plan, but in doing this and working on it, I go back to the stat that says only about 20 to 30% of all businesses will ever successfully sell. And here at Scale to Sell, we're on a mission to change that number and increase the odds. It can be devastating to a family, to the employees, to a community if 70 to 80% of the businesses fail. If they shut the doors, go into liquidation, and just fall apart.
Yep.
That's not a good thing. So we're going to be talking things today that will increase your revenue, increase and improve your lifestyle away from the business, give you more time off to enjoy life. Because the last thing you want to do, you'd be making millions of dollars a year, but die at your desk. Who wants that? And if you do die, then the business is not worth anything because you don't have things in proper place. So we want to increase the odds that your business will sell at the number you need it to sell at. at some point in time.
It's a really good point you bring up, that it is beneficial. So if you're listening right now and you're like, well, I'm not looking to sell in the moment, I'm not really thinking about that. It's not the stage of business that I'm in. Why should this matter to me, right? We say scale with the end in mind. The idea of, like you were saying, if you are in a position to get a high valuation because of the systems that you've put in place, the customer base that is loyal to you because they love your brand, they love how you've solved their problem and just taking care of their needs there, and you've got the team behind you and the culture that is geared up and ready to go and is scaling effectively, that's a high value business to sell. But that also means if you've got those things in place, you're ready for an crazy opportunity to grow your business and have the life that you want to live, have that meaningful life of significance that everyone wants to enjoy.
Whether it's keeping the business or maybe cashing out when you didn't think you were going to, and the money is so
Yeah.
tempting, and you want to go start another project. I don't want to retire. I just want to cash out and go do something else. Most of the time, a business, if it's in a good multiple range, it could be 4 to 6% or something. I've seen businesses right now, the money that's flowing around right now, sometimes you're getting 10 to 20x on your business on a well-run, finely tuned machine where people have people's process, all these things that we're going to talk about today. And so it'd be nice to know that your business could sell for a bigger number, or what that number will actually be. So whether you're looking to keep it or whether you're looking to sell it, it'll be more profitable and it'll be more valuable. Profitability of a business, if it's tied to you and not having all these things in place, will fall apart if something happens to you.
Yeah,
right?
the old profitability is not the same as value.
Right.
There's a important distinction there. We'll have that conversation, I'm sure, a little bit later in the episode, but we've talked about it before too. The first one that we're going to talk about today is people, right people in the right seats. It's hard, and I say hard, it's impossible to build a business that is going to be valuable, that's going to be attractive to a potential buyer if you don't have the right people in the right seats.
From small businesses all the way up to the very large corporations. We've talked about it before in our studies that you've seen, as you mentioned, right people, right seats. You might love that employee, but they may not be the right person for the job today. Maybe they were in the years past. Maybe something's changed in their life, or maybe just the business environment or technology or something has changed their role, and they need to be shifted into something else or move on to help them and help
Shifted
you.
into something else.
Right. Shift them into another role at the company. In many cases, these employees become like family, right? But sometimes they are not the right position, and they're limiting your ability to grow and make your business more profitable, more valuable.
When you have the right people in the right seats, it's amazing what is possible when you're looking at the goals that you have each quarter, right? We talk about our CEPAs, our certified exit planners, and how they help the business owners through that process of the 90-day sprints of improving the value of the business strategically in different ways. When you have the right people doing the right kind of work for them based on their skill sets, based on what gives them energy, what they are just so proficient at and enjoy doing. It's amazing the difference between someone that just getting by, that isn't the right fit. What is possible when you have those people in the right place.
Now they're thriving.
They're valuable.
Yeah,
So
no
valuable.
doubt. They're thriving now because they're motivated. And again, it's a lot. They want to be compensated, but a lot of people that are motivated want to be part of a team, and you put them in the right situation, they'll thrive. They'll come to you with ideas. They're part of a team. They work well together, and they will thrive. They're the right person in the right seat. And if they're not, then again, you need to exchange them out. Back to General Electric back in the day, it was the thought that, every year they reevaluated and got eliminated 10% of their workforce that was underperforming, right? And so it was some people consider it mean, but that's not the way they looked at it. They looked at it like, hey, they're not really wanting to be here. They're just showing up and doing a job and collecting a paycheck, the last one in, the first one out the door in the afternoon. And so they needed a better opportunity, or you needed a better person in that position right there.
It reminds me of Pat Lencioni's book. You're talking about your working genius and how different people have different skill sets and they work in different capacities. And if you have someone, I've seen this one before, right? You've got the top person who's out there selling or doing the specific thing, and then you make them a supervisor or a manager, and it crumbles because their skill set was not in the managing, it was in the doing.
Right.
And so understanding that and making sure you've got the teams prepared is such a critical part of that transition, part of that intangible capital that we talk about of the value of the business.
I will also mention to you, if you're not attracting and retaining the right people,
Yep.
that's a conversation we need to have too. Well, I know that, Steve, but I can't find those people. Well, there's something that you're doing, because I promise you, if you have it set up right, they will be attracted to your business. They will be motivated. And it's not, yes, you got to compensate them and you go, well, no, you're making an investment in them. You just can't give them the keys and write a blank check. I got that. But, if you're having a hard time with attracting and retaining quality people, then something that's a red flag, caution light, something, whatever you want to say. And that's part of your problem right there.
And most of before we get to the second point, most of the time when people leave a job, they blame it on finances, going to find a better financial opportunity. But oftentimes it starts with the culture of the company and the work that they're doing.
True.
And that fixing that and getting the right people in the right seats can solve a lot of those issues going forward and set you up for success later. So, number one, people. Number two, product. And what we're talking about here is a diversified, sustainable, and scalable revenue streams, or really multiple streams there. You think of companies today, we were having this conversation earlier this morning, who, years ago were like at the zenith of the business world, that were viewed as the top in their industry, that just are non-existent or basically non-existent today because they didn't understand how times change. They couldn't make a pivot, and it just went away, right?
Stuck in their ways.
Blockbuster to Netflix, right? So you had Blockbuster's zenith of, the video rental business, had some opportunities from my understanding to kind of get into and maybe even acquire Netflix early on. And it was like, why? We're like the biggest out there. Like, what are you talking about? And then now you're like, Blockbuster who? And Netflix is, doing what they do in the streaming world. But it happens with stores, it happens with products, it happens all the time where companies don't understand the changing times. They don't protect their streams of revenue, and they fail in the longevity of it all.
And adapting and that. We're talking to a company now about increasing the sales or the prices they charge by just 5%, and what that would do for the bottom line and make them more valuable, or adding extra services that they didn't offer before to make them stand out and make them more valuable to the client, and then therefore more valuable to any potential buyers in the future.
I don't know if I'm going to put this one under here. So it could probably fall under a couple issues and different risks, but there's a local business that just announced a couple months ago. It's actually right down the road from it's a farm, and they are known in the area for every season of the year having all kinds of events and things going on. People love it. Like, it's a staple, an icon of this area. And all of a sudden, they announced that they were closing like almost all of those opportunities because of an issue with the city of Chesapeake, which is, where we are right now. I think it's a zoning issue and some issues with the business operations at the farm and how things are related. So all of a sudden, because of something that was totally out of their control, it wasn't a market issue in terms of, people not wanting to be there or not buying their goods or services. No, they had a loyal fan base. They had systems and processes in place, and all of a sudden an issue with the city, and it's wiped out the
Revenue.
opportunity. And so it just sits vacant for the vast majority of the year now. And it's like, wow, like the diversified nature of what's going on there. You don't like to think about it, but it's important to protect yourself, your business, your employees.
AI is going to make a
Customer-
lot
yeah.
of these businesses alter or become extinct themselves in the next 5 years. And we'll talk more about that. You mentioned that in that one book,
Yes.
but we'll talk about that in the future. But there's things that you don't see, like Blockbuster did. They saw they had an opportunity, but they didn't have a clear enough vision. So you need to think about things, contingency plans, just to make yourself
Or
viable.
the Kodaks back in the day, right? They were known for printing the photos. And so when the idea of a digital camera came up,
They passed.
and they're like, why would we pivot? Why would we invest in something that's going to take away our key stream of revenue? They did not understand where things were going, kept doing the same thing, and then were wiped out because of it. To the AI point, right? The quote, it's been shared so many places, it's hard to attribute it to anyone at this point. But it's people talking about that AI is not going to put you out of business, but it'll put you, but the people that use AI will put you out of business, right?
Right.
Like the fear of technology and the people who are early adapters, the contrast between the two is going to be so stark because of how fast AI is changing everything that we do. And again, if you're not protecting and growing and adapting your diversified, sustainable, and scalable revenue streams, it's going to be hard for a business buyer to come in and see something that they're willing to pay top dollar for. So people, product, process. We talk about this all the time. I don't know that we'll spend too much of it in this episode, but having documented, efficient processes is central to having a business that is worthy of a high valuation. And again, if you're not looking to exit right away, it's going to be the engine that helps drive that freedom of the business freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom that you can enjoy even before you exit, like we talked about in episode 45.
They want to see that on writing, and you need it. If you have a key employee in your business and they're handling all kinds of things, and all of a sudden one day they give you a notice or their health and they just can't be there, and you're scrambling to find out what all they did. So whether it's a key employee or anybody, your people, your processes need to be documented. Somebody coming in to buy your business and wanting to see that because they know you're not going to be there. Some of your key employees won't be there. They were hoping to keep them there, but your process, you need to have it documented, no doubt about it. And there's systems out there and ways you can have it. And you just need to go through, and we can talk about that.
Yep.
We have talked about that. We can talk about it in another time. But yeah, have it documented because it could put you in a bad situation. You need to have what you do.
That was what I was about to say. Sometimes the company will have the other people's processes in place, but the things that you as the owner know are all locked up in the head, right?
Yeah.
And what happens if you're not there? What happens if you can't do it anymore? They have to be somewhere if you're going to transfer them, if you're going to have that value. For sure. Absolutely.
Owner recently I know of having conversations with the kids now had a stroke, and it may have been wired in there, but now it's been, the stroke has caused things to him to not be there like he was in the past.
The next one that we're going to talk about is proprietary. So the intangible things that are special to you that really set you apart, that differentiate you from your competitors. And so, we typically talk about the intangible capitals like your teams, your customer base, but a big part of that is the culture and how you position yourself. Really your brand that you've built, all the intellectual property and the things that really set you apart. That's a big part of what people are buying in this process that can really add value, or it could be something that if it's not developed, if you don't have it protected, if you don't have things documented, that could really, really be a short-sighted missed opportunity there. You can miss out on a lot.
Jeff Snell, our M&A, our lead M&A guy that we go to, we were having a conversation with a business owner recently, and they're looking to sell maybe internally to a loyal, valued teammate, or maybe to a third party. And Jeff was bringing up the intangible part of their business as part of that valuation. You don't think about that. Your reputation in the community, your culture there at the business. What do your employees think? What is it? What does everybody say and think about you? I can think of any number of clients where they're slaying the beast with their reputation, and then the other ones, it's the other way.
Yeah.
Right. It's no, we don't want to have anything to do with that business, and here's why. Intangible things, and there's more to it than just what we've got listed right there. People, process, the whole thing all comes together in that intangible things that adds greater value than just your numbers show on a P&L sheet.
Oh, absolutely.
Income statement, all those things.
It really is a differentiator of the value of your business beyond what the profitability of the company shows on your financial statements.
A company that I know now was offered over 20 times what normal people would say that business is worth, because of the intangible assets that he's built up, this team has built up over the last 20 years or so. Somebody will pay a premium price for that intangible, right? And so if you want to get a high multiple, more than 5 or 6, if you're lucky, how about a 10, 15, or 20x? That's and there's money floating around right now. They're looking for cash flow things with good systems, people, process. Intangible assets is a big one.
Life-changing opportunity there. When you increase that multiple, good things are happening when that multiple is going up.
A competitor will buy you out sometimes just because they want that intangible to bleed over. They want that culture. They want to find out your secret sauce of your business.
Yeah.
And a private equity firm, because they know that, they will pay a premium amount for that business.
Absolutely. So part of that leads us to our fifth point: patrons. Having a loyal and hopefully diversified customer base. This is just huge. So when we were first talking with our very first guest on the podcast way back in the day, Jonathan Shealy, we were talking about one of his clients, and he owns a landscaping business in the Midwest. And when he was thinking about the value of his business, he started talking to Jonathan about it, and he was talking about the machinery, and he was talking about, the warehouse, and I have these trucks and things like that. And it was like, okay, but you're known in this area as like the person for commercial and residential work. Like if anyone is anyone and they want the job done right, they know that they're going to you. So brand, but also his customer base is super impressive. And in his mind, he didn't even think about it as like as a key part of what made his business so valuable. It's like, it's huge.
How do you make them feel? How do you make your clients feel? Right? You may be the best, or you may just, there's something about you business where they want to do business with you. You know that there's no way to make all of your clients happy 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. You go walk on water, it's not going to happen. Somebody's going to be dissatisfied with you for whatever reason. But how do you treat them, most of them? What do they think about you? If there is a problem, how quickly do you respond, and how well do you get it fixed? How do you make them feel, right? They want you to know. That's why when they show up and they call your name out, and just little crazy things like that, doesn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things, or the grind of the day to day.
Yep.
But it is 100% valuable in profitability, lifestyle, and ultimately an exit.
When you take a look at how a lot of people buy, they buy based on reviews that they see, feedback that they've gotten from friends or others in the community. Maybe it's different communities do like the best of type of awards for different businesses, like restaurants and things, or other services that designate you for the service that you bring. But it speaks to what you have here of a loyal base who follows you, who loves what you do for them, in the way that you make them feel,
No,
like you described it. And when you've got a loyal base of patrons there, it speaks volumes to the quality of your business and is a huge green flag, right? We talk about red flags all the time. A huge green flag for a business buyer is a healthy customer base. And you've brought it up in other podcasts too. If you're in an industry where it's largely based on contracts, and you have a high concentration of employees, that makes those contracts, of businesses that you do, like if you're a B2B business, it makes those contracts so valuable because you've only got a few businesses, a few people that you work with.
even more important, you're right.
It makes it just incredibly valuable for you going forward and very needed. The last one that we're going to talk about, kind of underlying so many of this, is the profitability of the company. It's going to be really hard for you to sell a business if it's not able to make money. Just, shocking point there. But what does the profitability of the company look like? Again, as you've noted before, apart from the owner. What does that look like? Because if it's all based on you, it's not transferable. Not going to work.
Right. And you need to know your numbers. You need
Shark Tank. If Shark Tank has taught us anything, it's to know your numbers. If you're going to go in the tank, know the numbers.
It's not just a top line number. Recasted numbers take you out, one-time thing. So anyway, you need to know your numbers on an annual basis. You need to know your current value. You need to know your dream or future value, what that business needs to sell at. And so you can be increasing profitability, but not increasing value. So know the numbers. And again, we'll give you the opportunity to get your free valuation done. Current value, dream value of the business, but knowing the real numbers that people will pay a premium for. And by the way, if you're trying to time it, I know of a number of business owners right now that were really ultra profitable. Burnout set in one situation between partners, and that business is unsellable right now. One business owner, Jeff Sneller, M&A guy, was telling me about it was worth $27 million just a year ago. Unsellable today. Ultra profitable. Things happen. So you need to know your numbers. You need to know the real numbers. Don't fool yourself because people, we did this. It's not just about sales. I've seen and read about other businesses worth tens of millions of dollars and now not sellable. Because it's not just about profitability, because if you don't have the rest of these things checked off on your list, and again, as Adam said, you pull yourself out of the business crumbles, there's no value there. So improve these things right here, each of these items, you'll improve your profitability, you improve your lifestyle because you won't have to be there 24/7 or 100 hours a week or whatever you're working. And if you exit, it'll be at a much higher multiple.
Absolutely. The people, product, process, proprietary assets, patrons, profits. Fundamental to building a business that buyers find irresistible, that they want to buy and will give you a high number for, right? So again, like Steve was saying, if you need that valuation of your business, which side note, you do, go to scaletosell.com/value. You can get your free personalized report based on your specific numbers, your industry information. Upload a few documents. We'll get that those pieces of information. Quick survey just to get a sense of your business, and it gives you that current value of your business, that dream value of what to look forward to, of what is possible, of what you need the business to sell for going forward for that next chapter of your life. And also some key points about different risks and things that you may be experiencing based on how you answer some of those questions that will really be a good next step, really give you the clarity that you need for moving forward. So again, scaletosell.com/value, free report, no obligation. We'd love to be able to share that with you and really help you out from that perspective. Until next time, keep scaling.